Hello, welcome back to Time to Shine's online content lesson number 3. So I just want to say thank you so much to all those people that are watching these videos every week. It really does mean a lot to us, and it's really great to see that we're coming together as a community in this time of isolation. Last week I taught you how to use your facial expressions and body language to show expression, and I hope you all had a lovely time having a go with that game that I set for you to do. If you haven't quite got round to that, have a check out of that video first and then come back and watch this one. So this week, we're going to look at how we use our voice now to develop that emotion. So we've got our facial expression and we've got our body language to show. Now we need to think what happens with our voices when we create those characters. So there's 4 things we're going to go through today about voice. The first one is your pitch. Now your pitch is how high or low you may speak. That can express emotion because when you get to a high pitch, that might be that you're quite scared or frightened or excited. And when you're in a low pitch, it's kind of that you're more serious and you might be concerned about something. The next thing is your pace. Now, pace is how quickly or slowly you may say something. So, for example, when I'm angry, I say things very quickly. But then when I'm speaking in a slow manner and I've slowed down what I'm saying, it might be because I'm thinking about something or because I'm a bit more concerned. The third thing is your volume. Now, the volume is how loud you say something, but it's not necessarily just shouting, and I'm going to come back to that one in a second. And then the final one is your tone. Now, your tone of voice is how you express emotion, potentially all of the time. I'm sure that one of us has at some point been told off by somebody and their tone has changed. We might say, "Why are you being serious all of a sudden?" Yeah, because they've changed their tone to express that to you. Back to volume then. It's all very well. I can be quite loud. However, all I'm doing there is shouting. And as a result, my vocal skills and my vocal cords will be affected because of that. What we're going to work on is actually using our diaphragm to create the sound rather than just relying on our voices. Your diaphragm is situated just above your belly button. So I'd like you to take your hand now and place your hand just above your belly button. What's going to happen is, as you breathe in and out, you should feel your hand moving in and out as well, because that is showing that you're using your breathing from here rather than from your chest, which will mean your shoulders don't move as much. So for example, if I don't use my diaphragm correctly, I look a little bit like that. However, when I breathe with my diaphragm, my shoulders didn't move as much the second time. What you can see is that actually as you breathe in, and out, my hand is moving in and out away from my stomach. This is allowing you to control your breathing. As a result, your body will use the muscles to allow your voice to be projected rather than you shouting from your vocal cords. So when you are shouting and using volume, it is important that you correct your breathing first to allow yourself to project to the level that you want without simply shouting and damaging your vocal cords. That will enable you to reach the people far away from you in the audience and allow everyone to hear all those beautiful lines that you are saying in the performance. This is the same when you're doing a class presentation as well. When someone says, "Oh, I can't hear you," think about, am I using my diaphragm correctly? Am I projecting my voice and increasing my volume? So, your task today is going to be to have a practice at expressing your emotions using those 4 skills. The line I want you to think about is "I don't want to." And I'd like you to select 3 different emotions. Change those skills, think about the pitch, think about the pace, the tone, the volume that you are going to use to express that emotion. And then pair it with someone in your family and see if they can guess the emotion you're trying to show. So for example, last week I showed you angry with my facial expression and with my body language. Now if I want to show angry with my voice as well, I am going to actually slightly increase my pitch. I'm then going to increase the pace because when I'm angry, I do increase the pace of what I'm saying. And then with my volume, I will potentially shout, but my tone will mean that the people can hear the expression of anger. So for example, I don't want to. That's one way of expressing that I'm angry about something. Contrasting that then, if I was sad, I showed you last week, we droop our face slightly, our shoulders come rounded, our posture becomes a little bit hunched over. And I express to you that I don't want to by changing my pitch, my pace, the tone and the volume. I'm showing you I don't want to. Yeah, I didn't raise my volume. Actually, I kept it quite quiet, but I still projected so you could hear me. With the pitch, I actually kind of dropped my pitch slightly to show that sadness that I was feeling. The pace was a lot slower than when I was angry. And the tone particularly was what showed that emotion that I was feeling upset. That's the first task I want you to have a go with. And please, again, send in your videos so we can have a look and see if we can guess what emotions you are showing to us. The second task is, again, that we love to play in our weekly classes at Time to Shine. And this is the projection challenge. What happens is you need to find a space in your house where you've got a distance between you and another person. It might even be worth doing it in the garden. And what happens is someone will stand here. The person will stand directly in front of them. And you, being the first person, so we'll call you person A, you will say the line, for example, I don't want to. What will happen is every time you say the line and the person in front can hear you, they will take a step forward. So imagine there's a person A behind me saying, I don't want to. And every time I can hear them say it, I take a step forward. As soon as I cannot hear them anymore, and they're not projecting enough, I sit down. You can then see the distance that your voice can project. What I want you to do is have a go with that. And I want you to practice with the people around you in your house and see who can project their voice the furthest. That does not mean that you are the person who can shout the loudest. What that means instead is that actually you're using that diaphragm muscle and you are projecting your voice, increasing it as the person gets further away from you so they can continue to hear you. Then, if you're really looking for a challenge, that person then is going to stand there and you're going to have a go at walking towards them with them speaking the line. So for example, if I was here and the person had got to about 2 meters away, I would then walk towards them as they were saying the line. And we would see if their projection was the same as my projection. It's just a fun little challenge for you to have a go with. And like I've said before, thank you so much for constantly watching these videos, keeping up to date with our information and stuff. And some really exciting information. We've actually now just launched our website, which has got some lovely pictures and some lovely information about our members on there for you to have a look at, as well as all of our online content is going to be put on the website now, as well as on our social media platforms. So just want to say, stay safe, stay inside. This will be over soon and we will all be back together, and look after one another. Thank you very much. See you next week.